and gentlemen, your following contest is the semi-main event of the evening. Fighting out of the blue corner, Douglas, the Black Panther, Rabino. Ladies and gentlemen, the following bout is the semi-main event of the evening. This fight brought to you by the Team Ellis Gym. 7 days free with one-on-one training. Just give them a call. 4 by 3 rounds boxing rules in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, trained by Eli Lunswer at the Toughen Up Boxing Gym with an official rate of 63.2 kilograms, running all black trunks. This man is undefeated. 4 fights, 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Altona, here's Douglas, the Black Panther, Rabino. And across the ring, he's opponent, fighting out of the red corner, trained by Jimmy Challenger at the Loose Cannon Boxing Club with an official weight of 62.8 kilograms. Wearing aqua blue shorts with yellow piping. This man is undefeated. 6 fights, 6 wins, 4 coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Geelong, ladies and gentlemen, Jack the Sugar Cat live! Let's fight the center for referees. Instructions of those holders remain in charge. Mr. Alan McCall.
And what a pleasure it is to bring a closer proceedings for tonight. We are at the penultimate bout of the evening. Of course, the semi-main event, Jack the Sugar Cat Light against Douglas Rabino. 2 undefeated prospects putting it all on the line here at Team Ellis Boxing, the Melbourne Pavilion. Great to be here with you, Azza. It was fantastic seeing all the amateur bouts for the evening to get the crowd nice and warmed up, but the real stuff starts now. Jack Light and Doug Rabino. It doesn't get any better than this.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you almost learn straight away when you first meet Jack Light. He's a top bloke. He's a great kid. He's a great fighter. He's got lightning reflexes, very quick on the jab. Very exciting young fighter, and someone that I've heard a lot of good things about.
And of course, Douglas Rabino, early into his pro career as well. Quite a solid puncher from all reports of the guys who have sort of boxed with him and obviously sparred. And having a chat to his trainer, Ili Mansour, he's very confident of a knockout victory here tonight. So a lot of belief, of course. 2 undefeated fighters, so they're chock-a-block full of self-confidence, and think that they're going to progress forward to bigger and better things in the professional ranks. So as both fighters try to establish dominance in this early round, I think this fight, if Doug Rabino can't close the distance on Jack, I think he's going to have a really tough time, because as we see with Jack the Sugar Cat Light, very sharp on the outside, that beautiful jab and some fantastic lateral movement. So Doug needs to get rough. He needs to get on the chest to Jack Light and really try and work in those power shots from close range. And
I think it's going to be one of those nights where, as the fight goes on, I think Jack will continue to get his eye in. The jabs will start landing, the straight punches will start landing, he'll get his range in, and I think as the fight progresses, Jack will have more and more success. That's what I think, this very, very short distance into the fight, and very, very impressive performance so far.
And of course, Jack Light coming off a really impressive victory last start against Lewis Goodrich, a very experienced fighter, and it was a real step up for Jack, and he got the first round knockout. And I know you know, his camp obviously were absolutely delighted, and Jake Ellis, the promoter, was, you know, a little bit worried about that fight because he wasn't too sure whether it was a step up too soon, but Jack Light really showed his poise and class and got the result that night. So very exciting time for both fighters as Jack Light lands a nice right hand on the inside there.
Snappy jab there, incredibly accurate snap, great snap on that jab, you know what I mean? And that is what I think is one of the cornerstones of Jack Light as a fighter.
Oh, and a
awesome right hand.
Yeah, beautiful
great
counter right
reflexes,
hand.
great timing. I see a lot in Jack. I see a lot in Jack Light, you know. He's only been in there a couple of minutes, but as you can see, the hype is real.
And as we just see the left eye of Douglas Rabino just swelling up a fraction, bit of marking up on there from the couple of right hands landed from Jack Light. As some beautiful head movement there from Jack Light as Doug Rabino looked to land a power shot there.
Jack's definitely a thinking man's fighter. He's definitely in there. You can see he's thinking. He's working on what he's doing. He's not one to sort of sit down and try and end the fight in one punch, but he's definitely keeping a close eye on his opponent. As I said, good range, good accuracy, good fitness, and just an all-round good bloke that I've heard many good things about in and outside the ring. Very exciting prospect.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of actually being able to catch up with both fighters about a week or so ago in preparation for this fight, and you know, both of them full of confidence as we 6-0, 4 KOs. Doug Rabino 3-0 and 1 draw with 2 KOs. So both fighters in the infancy of their professional career. However, a lot of buzz around Jack Light. Douglas Rabino, his gym is certainly full of confidence and looking to get past Jack Light tonight as Rabino comes out strong for the second round with a couple of beautiful jabs to the body of Jack Light.
Toughen Up Gym just up the road from the original champ camp, you know, my dad's gym. You know, great to see Toughen Up, you know, representing Altona on the local boxing scene. I think they do a great job. Nice location, couple of Ks from the beach. Yeah, absolutely. So Dougie Rabino would be getting some early morning swims down in Port Phillip Bay down at Altona Beach, and as we see Rabino land a nice right hand there on Jack Light. And you can see Douglas is a little bit frustrated. He knows he's capable of more. He knows he's got the potential to, you know, if he can just land 2 or 3 good shots, he can turn this fight around. But it's just that frustration when you've got a thinking fighter in front of you. It's not always easy to hit. I think it's going to be difficult for Rabino to win this fight while he's on the back foot. As we see, that jab of Jack Light is really keeping Douglas at range and keeping him in a place where Jack wants as he lands a couple of shots there as Doug was just leaning back. Yeah, you know, much better round from Douglas in my opinion. As Jack lands I think they've both grazing shot there. They've both settled in now. Douglas is always looking for that big left hook. He's looking for that big shot. He's looking for that good right hand. As you can see there again, another attempt. Jack Light is not easy to hit, guys. I'm telling you now, he's not a fighter that you can just pin and walk up and throw a big shot at. You have to work it in. You have to be a little bit clever with it because Jack Light is incredibly evasive. See, lands his signature shot there, Jack Light, the rip. We've seen him stop a couple of opponents early in his career and looking to do the damage there on Douglas Rabino as Rabino lands a right hand. Rabino looking very, very prepared for the fight. Fit-looking guy. He can definitely bang. I can tell, you know, just watching him fight for a few minutes. He's definitely got good power in his shots. He's definitely had some quality training. And let me tell you something, he's come here to win. Oh, one of the better shots of the fight so far landed by Rabino as fighters trade in center ring. And it's that jab by Jack Light, just keeping Douglas Rabino off balance and at bay. And then Jack works off that jab, which is a really, as you touched on, as a real crisp, beautiful scoring shot. Beautiful rip right in front of the commentary team. Answered right back though. And I just feel like Jack shouldn't be looking to trade so much with Douglas. I feel like he should be on the outside, keeping him off, because I do feel like Douglas does have good power. They both knew they were coming here to fight tough opposition. I can tell from the way that they're conditioned. I can tell from how they're approaching this fight that, you know, they both knew this could be one of those fights to really, you know, set a career in the right direction.
as fighters exchange jabs early in round 3. A better round, I think, for Rabino in round 2. I think I'd be giving that first round pretty comfortably to Jack Light. A little bit more difficult to score that second round, as
I feel like Jack needs to get back, needs to take a step back, get back on that jab, because
this is where Rabino wants it. He wants it in close, he wants it rough and dirty, and he wants to exchange with Jack Light. Up against the ropes is not where you want to be if you're Jack Light. However, plenty of poise as he's rolling, slipping.
You have to admire the just the grit of Douglas. He's coming here to win the fight. He wants to win in an impressive fashion. He is not intimidated by Jack Light.
And just as Rabino just switches stances to southpaw and back to orthodox, just trying to keep Jack, you know, guessing and off balance. It's you know, really two contrasting styles here in a very tasty, entertaining matchup, as we see the slick skills of Jack Light and beautiful left rip just sneaking through past the elbow of Douglas Rabino there. And of course, Douglas Rabino being a real sort of less work than Jack Light, more single shots, more emphasis on power, which he hasn't quite been able to land the big shot, as we just say there. Right hand just landing over the top from Rabino.
What a great matchup, honestly. What a great matchup. We do have, you know, different styles, different fighting ideologies here. We've got Douglas trying to hurt Jack. He's trying to bring Jack, you know, he's trying to make this.
He wants to make it a dogfight, doesn't he?
Exactly. And he'll feel right at home if Jack sort of goes toe. Awesome jab.
As a right hand lands from Jack Light there. Beautiful exchange there as he came back. And Rabino letting his hands go on the inside. And Jack Light's walking forward saying, bring it, Rabino, as this is really lighting up here at the Melbourne Pavilion. You know, so much on the line for both fighters. Young men in the prime of their lives trying to build a career in the toughest sport of all, as we see Jack Light evading punches and landing a very sneaky right uppercut there on the inside on Douglas Rabino.
The crowd is absolutely captivated. I'm just looking around the room at the moment. Every eyeball in the house is on this contest. They know what's at stake. Someone's O has to go, as they say, Matty.
Rabino lands a right hand over the top there. Really closing the distance here on Jack Light as he lands a 1-2. 1-2 left uppercut, right hand, left hook.
Bit of blood
left hook, right hand from Rabino. You called it, as a bit of claret from the eye coming from Douglas Rabino.
What an awesome contest. Two undefeated prospects here to make a name for themselves, guys. Awesome round. Awesome round.
Making some waves here in local boxing. Of course, both undefeated. Everything on the line as we enter round 4.
And
this is the fourth and final round.
As Rabino comes out swinging, backing up Jack Light. He knows he's going to have a big finish here to get this win. As Jack Light working on the inside with Douglas Rabino. Yeah, fantastic fight. How are you seeing it up to this point?
Look, I think Jack's slightly ahead. I think he's a bit sharper. I think, and you know what? I think as Douglas continues to open up and throw those haymakers, I think that'll actually feed into Jack's style a little bit more, and it will allow him to, like I said, have a think, be composed, and take the free ones.
And Jack just having some great success with the jab and just pulling back and making Rabino overreach and looking to counter him after Rabino overextends with the right hand or occasionally a hook, as we just said. Rabino just landing a grazing hook there to the right side of Jack Light's face. But super impressed with the poise of Jack Light against a strong opponent who's looking to...
Strong and well-conditioned. But you know what? I feel like Jack, you know, I feel like he needs to get back on that jab and get back to his good evasive style. I feel like he's wearing too many shots. I feel like Douglas is landing shots that he shouldn't be. I think Jack needs to get back on that jab because, you know, over a 4-round contest, anything can happen.
And look, both fighters, let's not forget, got a point to prove here. There's, you know, this is boxing, and this is two undefeated fighters trying to make a statement, trying to take each other down. And as I say, that Rabino lands a left hook and tries to land a big right hand on Jack Light as he just rolls under and makes it look easy as he lands a couple of beautiful shots on the inside there.
And as you can see, guys, you know, Jack seems to have a far more silky smooth style. Seems to be a lot more of a thinking fighter, but 90% of boxing is mental, guys. And Douglas is coming with ferocious attack. He's having success, and he came here to win. And boxing's all mental, and this is a great example of that here.
Just think Rabino needs to just step it up just a little bit here, just to, you know, really finish the fight and make a really strong impression on the judges. So I just got a feeling Jack Light might be ahead up to this point. Final 30 seconds as Jack Light gets on his feet, moving around as Rabino backs him up on the ropes and tries to land.
I've got to tell you, Douglas has come a long way since the start of this fight.
Definitely, and look at Jack Light just rolling under every shot, holding on as we near the end of round 4. What a beautiful contest this has been. Jack Light and Douglas Rabino as
Literally
he puts the rush.
Literally running over.
Jack Light lands a couple of beautiful shots on the inside. And what a contest we got right there. Both fighters raise their arms aloft.
After 4 rounds of boxing, we've got to the judges' scorecards. Your first judge scored the contest 40-36 to Light. Your second judge scored the contest 40-36 Rabino. Your third and deciding judge scored the contest 39-37, declaring it a via split points decision. Red corner, Jack Sugar Cat Light.
And the Sugar Cat Jack Light takes the victory tonight and moves to 7-0.